You are watching the Jets Draft Countdown Series presented by Duncan. I'm Eric Allen, joined in the studio by Eric Coleman. Man, you look ready for a draft. Great outfit. We're going to get much more on that later. But it's time for our first and only mock draft, as myself and EC will team up, as will our own Ethan Greenberg and Anthony Beck. Fellas, are you ready? Starting with you, E.
Absolutely. We put in the work. Let's get these draft picks going.
AB, sometimes throughout the year, we witnessed a contentious relationship between yourself and the aforementioned Ethan Greenberg. You guys going to be okay today?
Well, clearly to the fans watching this is going to be easy. Me and Ethan are dressed a lot more conservatively. We look like GMs. You guys, on the other hand, looking like Crockett and Tubbs. I think that's going to be the difference in this one here. I think we're going to lean and get the fans to go on our side.
Hey, Miami Vice, you can't go wrong. This is the way it's going to work today. You guys have the number 4 and number 38 selections, the Mad Men. The middlemen get number 10 and number 35 overall for the Jets. Ethan, let's get to your hypothetical scenarios at number 4.
All right, EA. Well, let's start with some of the guys that are on the board. We're taking Aiden Hutchinson off because he's projected to go somewhere in the top 3, most popular pick number 1 or number 2 overall. So let's just take him off the board, taking a look. Pretty popular names to the Jets at number 4 along the mock draft circuit. But Anthony, who are you bringing to the table as your pick as we decide together who's going to be the 4th overall selection?
Well, Ethan, I think I can speak for both of us. When you pick at number 4, you need guys that have made plays, guys that have put something on film, and they've shown you something. And the guy that sticks out to me is Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati. Ultra productive at 6'3", 220 pounds. This guy never gave up a touchdown reception in his entire college career and only gave up 13 catches for just over 100 yards in this past season. On the Cincinnati defense. Listen, I think he's going to fit in great. I think he'd be a guy you could put in there and he could groom himself to be one of the better corners in the division and shut down some of these premier receivers. We also look at a lot of these receivers now in the league that have a little more size to him. He'll match up well on that front as well. So with the speed and the size and the combination of production, I really like Sauce Gardner at this pick.
You know, I like it a lot too, and I think that he'd jump in from the get and probably start for the Jets. Obviously, the Jets have a very improved cornerback room with DJ Reed, and then you think about where that room was last year compared to where it would be with Sauce Gardner, with Bryce Hall and Brandon Echols as well. The depth would be fantastic. I'm pushing my chips on the table for a pass rusher here, Anthony, and I know that Travon Walker was on the board, but he's projected a top 3 pick. I feel kind of guilty just going with it because I don't know if he'll be there when the Jets pick at 4 on Thursday night. So let's go with Kayvon Thibodeaux out of Oregon. I know there are questions about the personality, but as a player, Anthony, stellar career for the Oregon Ducks. He was the 4th unanimous All-American in school history this past season, 19 sacks. He showed he could do it. I know he's a little banged up this past season, and I know that there are questions about his personality, but you think about what the Jets want to do. They want to build up front, whether that's offense, whether that's defense, and with a guy like Kayvon Thibodeaux, you're not holding your breath that an edge rusher is there at number 10, where I think maybe you can go with corner in a different round. So I'm going with Kayvon Thibodeaux, but the choice is yours, Anthony. We going with Sauce or are we going with Kayvon?
Yeah, I think the most intriguing question of this draft is where are these 4 pass rushers going to go? Thibodeaux, Hutchinson, Walker, and Johnson. I think you hit a nail on the head. I'm willing to go with this. I like Thibodeaux at this pick. I think he's a guy that right now, like you said, production. He's shown it on film, done it against some of the best talent that's out there. Those other things are swirling. I think a lot of players have those things swirling about them, about what their likes and what they like to do off the field. But as far as on the field, this kid answers the bell every single time.
All right, there you have it, EA. Pick number 4. Pass rusher Kayvon Thibodeaux out of Oregon for the green and white.
Okay, finally, it's our time to get on the clock at number 10. Let's take a look at some of our options here in our hypothetical scenario.
There are a ton of options at 10. A lot of talent here, as you see a lot of receivers. But I'm going to go with the safety position, the big-time playmaker out of Notre Dame, Kyle Hamilton. He's 6'4", 220, rangy, he's physical in the box. I think he'd be a good addition. When I look at him, when I think about him as a player, I think about a Cam Chancellor, a guy who can be a big-time disruptor, do a great job of covering tight ends in this tight end-heavy NFL league we're playing in.
Of course you had to go safety. Listen, I got to go to the other side of the ball. The Jets address need there at number 4 in our mock draft, with the fellas taking Kayvon Thibodeaux out of Oregon. How about Jameson Williams out of Alabama? Okay, he transfers from Ohio State to Alabama after playing with Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, who, oh, by the way, are probably going to be first-round selections. Last year, 79 receptions, nearly 1,600 yards receiving, nearly 20 yards a catch. He did have a couple drops, but he was just one of 3 FBS players to reach 1,500 receiving yards and 15 touchdowns. And he did this in the Southeastern Conference. Now, here's the thing. Tore his ACL in the national championship game against Georgia. So what is his health? If that didn't happen, I don't think we're asking ourselves, is he a top 10 selection? We're asking ourselves, where in the top 10 is he going to go? The Jets want to accelerate the progress of Zach Wilson. How do you do that? You add a playmaker. This guy is a big-time playmaker. And remember, the Jets pursued a cheetah in Tyreek Hill before, a guy who can beat man coverage. Hill lands in Miami, but in this draft, we're going to take Jameson Williams, number 10 overall. All right, so we're sticking with us here since we do have the middle picks. We're coming back at the top of day 2, the 35th overall selection. Remember last year, the Jets grabbed Elijah Moore at the top of the 2nd round. What do you think of the options here on day 2?
I think there are some great options on the board, but you didn't give me my safety with pick number 10. I'm taking Lewis Cine out of Georgia. He's a big-time playmaker, needs to beef up a little bit, but he's reckless. He plays with all gas, no brakes. You talk about Robert Saleh's mentality. This guy embodies it. He's very physical. He's active. I think he'd be a great addition to this Jets secondary.
You talk to the Georgia players, and they are asked, who was the leader of that defense?
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about Lewis Cine. He's got such an interesting backstory. Physical ball player, born in Haiti, spent some time in Florida, moved to Boston, went and played for Deion Sanders in Texas. Obviously, he lands in Georgia, wins the national championship. Don't forget about Jaquan Brisker, though. Lackawanna Community College, and then he transfers into Penn State, 153 career tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 5 interceptions. He was an unquestioned leader on that Penn State defense. And think about what James Franklin has been bringing in there to the Nittany Lions. I'm not saying this guy's going to be Micah Parsons, but I think he has a high ceiling. We got to consider him, but with this pick, I think we got to go with E's choice, and that's Lewis Cine out of Georgia. Fellas, what do you think about those 2 picks?
I like him a lot. And, I think that Lewis Cine, if you get him at 35, I think the Jets would be doing backflips for that. My question for you, Anthony, is about pick number 10 with Jameson Williams. EA talked about accelerating the progress of Zach Wilson. Let's say the Jets are there at 10. They have their pick of the litter of wide receiver. What are your thoughts on going with a guy who you don't know when he's going to return to the field because of the knee injury?
Yeah, that's a big factor for me. I want a guy that can play now, especially when you're in the top 10 picks. You're looking for that pick to be part of the equation for the upcoming season. He'll recover fine. Everything will be good. You'll have to wait for that production moving forward. But again, anything can happen. I just feel like sometimes there's a little bit of risk, but he arguably is the best receiver prior to his injury.
All right, well, we have pick number 38 to round out the 2-round mock draft. And so how am I going to tip the scale right now? Because right now we have defense at 4, offense at 10, defense at 35. I'm going with defense. When you look at the options behind me right here, I'm still going with defense. I'm going with the Senior Bowl MVP and Oklahoma defensive tackle Perrion Winfrey. The Jets got an up-close and personal look at him in Mobile, Alabama. He brought the juice. He brought energy. He emulates all gas, no brakes. And so here's the thing. Over 40.5% of his tackles took place in opposing backfields. The Jets lost Foley, Fatukasi in free agency. Need some beef in the middle of the defense, and I'm going with Perrion Winfrey.
Well, listen, I see a luxury pick here still on that board, and I have to go with it. Breece Hall to me is the best running back in the draft at 6'1", 220 pounds. The guy ran a 4.3 at the combine, which was lights out. I don't know if he plays at 4.3, but he's got that burst and speed that you're looking for. He's a patient runner that can run the outside zone. You see him kind of be patient along the line of scrimmage as he runs through college, but he also is a big and strong enough back to hit the hole downhill in that power gap scheme. I look this guy to be a guy that can really help the quarterback. 1,500 yards average rushing the last 2 years. Got a lot of tread on the tires now. He ran the ball quite a bit, but 50-plus touchdowns and 80-plus catches. I mean, what's better than that? Sign me up for this kid if he's still available at 38.
A lot of miles on the car there, but You know what makes us a great team, Anthony? You conceded to me at pick 4, and I'll reciprocate. I'll concede to you our final pick in the 2-round mock draft, running back Breece Hall out of Iowa State. Put it in Sharpie over here for Team Anthony and EG. I don't even know if anyone's ever called me EG, but you can call me Greens, whatever. My question to you, EA, is do you think that Breece Hall is a luxury pick like Anthony said?
100% is a luxury pick. The Jets got somebody in the backfield named Michael Carter, and they got him in the 4th round last year. I like Breece Hall as a player. I see some Jonathan Taylor in him. Do you think that's the right pick?
Yeah, I mean, he's a north and south runner. He's physical. I think he's a great compliment to Michael Carter.
Oh, wow. So E supports that pick. You know what I do like in our mock draft here and our hypothetical scenarios? Playmakers for Zach Wilson, because Breece Hall can not only run it, he can catch it out of the backfield. I think Jameson Williams is going to be one of the most electrifying players out of this draft class. And then defensively, AB, you get an edge, and you know the Jets need an edge in Kayvon Thibodeau here. And then you get a safety, and the Jets already got better at the safety position here in the offseason by signing Jordan Whitehead, a guy with championship pedigree who's just 25 years old.
Yeah, no reason why you can't get 4 starters out of these 4 picks. It's hard. It's really tough to do. But I think this draft aligns. You talked about what that first-round talent looks like and then everybody else falling into place. I think Joe Douglas here has a huge chance to really upgrade this roster and help this team moving forward.
Good job, fellas. I will say that our mock draft did not include trades because I would have been wheeling and dealing and ready for Las Vegas. Great analysis from you guys.